It's just a sad loss. Deep in your eyes, it can't impelled you. Open and close within your eyes. I'll kiss the sky within your eyes. Oh, hey everyone. Well, it's me again. The great and powerful Oz. And if you're wondering what I'm doing and why am I singing like David Bowie, well, this is a review you all been waiting for. And here's my magic trick. 1, 2, 3, Veraberto. Labyrinth. Believe it or not, the movie Labyrinth was a cult film. I mean, it didn't go well in the box office, but there was a lot of cult fans who loved it. And of course, there were a lot of teenage girls who seemed to like David Bowie as his character. And the movie was made way back in 1986, about a year after I was born, because I was born in 85. But the movie itself was quite interesting, and there's a lot of background I discovered. You see, before they decided to have David Bowie in this movie, they wanted Michael Jackson to play Jared. I would imagine how Michael Jackson's performance would be. I mean, him singing and him talking, I mean, it would sound like this. It's a crystal, nothing more. If you turn it this way, look into it, it'll show you dreams. But this is not a gift for an ordinary girl who takes care of the screaming baby. That sounds awkward. And of course, they also wanted Sting to play Jareth, and he'll be more like this. It's a crystal, nothing more. If you turn it this way, look into it, it'll show you your dreams. But this is not a gift for an ordinary girl who takes care of the screaming baby. And of course, how they sound when they're singing will be more like this. It's just a sad loss. Michael Jackson. Deep in your eyes, it can't impel you. Or how Sting would sound like would be like, it'll be a sad loss. Deep in your eyes, it can't impel you. Open and close. But you know, Sting he'll be watching you. Every move you make, every breath you take, I'll be watching you. Oh well. Forget about Sting, forget about Jackson, and get to Bowie, shall we? Throughout the whole story, you get that lovely Jennifer Connelly, who plays a 16-year-old teenager who she always gets into her own fantasy. I mean, she gets in her own life role play thing. She pretends she's a girl going through the labyrinth and meeting Jared. And also she had her own book of Labyrinth. And of course she hates her stepmother, and she treats her like she's a wicked stepmother. But heck, all teenage girls every girl always thinks about their stepmother always being so wicked. That's why most stepdaughters never do get along with their stepmothers, unless they found a way to get used to it and have a mother figure to like. But of course, to most guys, when they have a stepmother, they think of something else. Especially if their stepmother is really hot. But enough about this. Let's get back to the movie, shall we? Anyway, this movie was created by Jim Henson himself before he passed away. And they wanted to have a singer, and that's when they had David Bowie. Wait a minute. David Bowie was like in his 30s when this movie was made. And Jennifer Connelly was 16? And I remember one of the scenes, I remember him saying, "Don't fear me, love me, do as I say, and I will be your slave." Pedophile! Sorry. Something has to cough out. But to tell you the truth, the first time I saw Labyrinth, I did find Jennifer Connelly really cute. I was mesmerized by her beauty, and I had quite a crush on Jennifer Connelly. Don't look at me, I was very young at the time! Besides, it was made in 86, so I'd probably be like 1 year old by now. And the first time I saw it, I was really, really young, like 16 or something. Maybe 16 or 15. So it wasn't much of a problem. Anyway, throughout this story, the reason why I'm dressed up as a Wizard of Oz is because it's kind of the same premise on every fantasy stories. You get a teenage girl go into a fantasy world, make friends with characters, and they join with them in their journey. Kind of like Alice in Wonderland and the Wizard of Oz, so that's why I dressed up as a Wizard of Oz. And of course, Jennifer Connelly, in her journey, she wished that the Goblin King would take her away, and the Goblin King is, of course, David Bowie, aka Jared. And she didn't really mean it. So what she does is she's going through this whole labyrinth, even though it's more like a maze. She goes through her never-ending journey to find her brother before the Goblin King's going to turn her baby brother Toby into a goblin. That's how the whole tale goes. So what she's doing is she's trying to go through this entire labyrinth in order to get her brother, and she makes friends with certain characters. Like, she meets this short guy who goes by the name of Hoggle, even though she always keeps getting his name wrong by calling him Hogwarts. That's not Harry Potter. It's Hoggle. Gag. And then she meets this big, furry horn character named Ludo, who's not exactly the brightest, but he's very friendly, and he makes this roar as summons rocks. And he always sounds like this. Ludo friends. Oh yeah, and of course Hoggle, this is my... Hello, I'm Hoggle. It's Hoggle. And of course, she also meets this other character who looks like a mixture between a fox and Don Quixote, who goes by the name Sir Therimus Spew to thee. Without my permission, no one may pass. All in all, it is a heartwarming story. It's a very good movie, and the population of it. Not many people know that the Japanese, they made a video game based from this movie. And it was a Famicom game. And in case some of you people don't know what a Famicom is, it's a Japanese version of Nintendo. So it never made it all the way to the US. They just made a Famicom video game in Japan and never came to America. Japanese always gets better games than we have. And compared to other games that based from a movie but never turn out as good, the Famicom, they make some really dang good ones based from movies. And now I'm jealous. Out of all the crappy games, the Japanese make some dang good ones. I call that mutiny. Anyway, all in all, you folks should get this movie and watch it and see what you think. And of course, some people did tell me I should have dressed up as David Bowie doing this review, but I'd rather dress up as the Wizard of Oz. Besides, I look so dang ridiculous in a leotard. And I'm not going to wear those silly 80s wigs anyway. I mean, that is so passé. I prefer old-fashioned hat and old-fashioned suits. Because I look a lot better in them. And I feel very comfortable wearing these. Even some people say I have a pocket... Most of the time, I always carry a pocket watch. And all I need is a monocle. A monocle, you say? Yeah, well, you'd be surprised how good this movie is. And the puppet effects, I mean, the Jim Henson Company, they make such dang good puppets. But now most of their movies are becoming computer animated, and I don't have much care for them. And the only good one they made so far is that Mirror Mask. I mean, it was okay. It wasn't that good. I mean, if Jim Henson came back and knew that most movies are now being computer animated, he will turn on his grave. Hey, for this movie, at least it's not a Muppet Labyrinth. Imagine Kermit the Frog playing Labyrinth.
Oh, hi there. I'm Jareth, the Goblin King.
And of course, some people will be amazed over Miss Piggy as Sarah. So, anyway, as usual, watch this movie. Have a look. Enjoy the movie if you like. And if some of you have it, thank goodness you enjoyed that experience like I have. Of course, from the beginning, at the beginning of the movie, it gets pretty scary. Kind of like how I was when I first saw it. I got so scared I didn't want to watch the rest of it until I stayed and continued watching the rest and start liking it. Same thing with my brother. I mean, when my brother first saw it, he got so dang scared, he wanted me to shut it off until I say, shut up and continue watching this, until he starts liking it, and now he likes it. Oh yeah, and another thing that the Japanese did. They decided to do a manga comic book series of Labyrinth called Return of the Labyrinth. And it's telling the story about Toby being a full-grown teenager, and he is starting to get into the labyrinth. I don't know how the rest of the story is going to pick up from that manga comics, because I hardly read manga. Anyway, if you like this video, ladies and gentlemen, please leave a comment down below, subscribe, and like the video. And as for me, you remind me of the babe. What babe? Babe with the power. What power? Power of voodoo. Voodoo? You do. Of what? Remind me of the babe. I saw my baby crying hard as babe could cry. What could I do? My baby's love has gone and left my baby blue. Nobody knew what kind of magic spell to use. Slime and snails and puppy dog tails under your line. And baby said, dance magic, dance magic, dance magic, dance magic, dance that spell on me. Jump magic, jump magic, jump magic, jump magic.